In my first December reselling name brand products on Amazon, I did over $150,000 in sales, and merchant fulfillment was one of the biggest ways that helped me do it. And if you watch the channel, you know this is something I'm super big on, especially for you new sellers who want to grow quickly. So in this video, I'm going to specifically show you how to source merchant fulfilled friendly products. And even if you do Amazon FBA, this will still be super valuable for you. So I'm super excited to break this down and help you make some more money in your Amazon business. But if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'm picking one random person for the month of November to do a free one-on-one consultation with. So if you watch and just haven't subscribed yet, make sure you go ahead and do that. Let's jump into the video. So to find some of these products, I want to go ahead and pull up a quick example product to demonstrate what we're looking for when we're merchant fulfilling products. And if that's a brand new term to you, by the way, merchant fulfilling basically just means we're going to ship it directly to the customer instead of it lagging at Amazon's warehouse. And we can move our money way faster and take advantage of these big Black Friday opportunities, limited sale opportunities that happen year round way faster, right? So I pull up this as an example product because it's a product that you can start from for you to find other merchant fulfilled friendly products. So I'm going to show you this and one other way that you can source some of these merchant fulfilled inventory, but let's go ahead and just start with reverse sourcing right here. And the reason why I picked this item is when we go ahead and check out the Keep It chart right here, we can see a lot of blue up at the top. That's showing me that merchant fulfilled sellers are getting the buy box. If you'd rather use SellerAmp for this, you can also go ahead and go down here to type and then just filter by FBM. And then we can see a bunch of FBM sellers showing up right there, 7%, less than 1%, 6%. That's basically the overall percentage of sales on this listing. They're making a decent chunk of the sales as merchant fulfilled sellers. And a lot of times on some items, it might be completely hogged by FBA sellers. So the main big thing you want to look at when you're sourcing merchant fulfilled products is that you see a lot of sellers on the buy box stats right here that are FBM sellers. Or if you're sourcing it during the holiday season, what you want to do is go ahead and zoom out to the year long view and then go ahead and check out last year and see if there was a lot of merchant fulfilled sellers, right? So you just need some kind of proof that you can make sales as an FBM seller, right? So there's a little bit of blue up there at the top, but a lot of orange back there. Recently though, I've seen a lot of blue. I wouldn't be too worried about this at all to sell at FBM. So from here, what I want to do is go ahead and instead of clicking an FBA seller, we want to just go ahead and start storefront stocking some of these merchant fulfilled sellers. And especially on a listing like this, I might go ahead and source somebody who's not the guy who's $2 under the price for no reason whatsoever. When you're selling on Amazon, don't be this guy. Make sure you're matching the price of everyone else on the listing. He's making less profit. He's making everybody less profit for no reason. So we don't want to storefront stock this guy. He might be a little bit more likely for some of his products to do the same thing, right? We don't want to be competing with somebody who doesn't really like making profit, right? I'd rather storefront stock this merchant fulfilled seller whose prices are pretty decently high. And so what we're really looking for as we're looking through these storefronts now, especially if you're a brand new seller, we're trying to understand which brands are going to be good brands for me to sell and which sales, which coupons, which cash back codes am I going to be able to use. What's really important to remember is basically none of your good items will be profitable right away. So if you click this and you see, oh, I've got to buy it for 16 bucks. If you see it at a retail store for 16 bucks, it's going to be very rare for you to see items that are at this cost, 16 bucks or below in this case, 79 bucks or below in this case. It's going to be super rare for you to see items that are already at that cost. The vast majority of your money on Amazon is going to come through finding great coupon codes and just great places to find some of these brands that you start seeing on different stores here. So we see this seller is selling a lot of Nike. Curious to see, maybe we can check out this seller, see what kind of brands, just get some ideas from what kind of brands they're carrying. So Adidas, Starbucks, Fortnite, a lot of these like very holiday friendly brands, right? So I want to go ahead and start with this guy over here. I'm going to skip this product. This is the SellerAmp storefront view, by the way. When we check this out here, we can see that Amazon, this orange bar is pretty much always on it. We don't want to compete with Amazon. They don't typically share sales with us as third-party sellers. So let's keep on moving here. So these dunks right here, we can go and check those out. Let's see, we've got some shoes right there. So they're selling a lot of like Nike shoes, that kind of thing, which is a decent holiday item for sure. There's going to be lots of good sales and that kind of stuff on it. And this is part of what you're looking for as we're storefront stocking, right? So when we go into Google over here, really what I'm looking for is to find the different websites that might be offering some coupon codes, right? So it seems like Shop WSS might have a coupon code of some kind. A lot of times when I'm storefront stocking, especially during Q4, I'm not even looking at the exact item I came from. I'm just looking for great sales to source through. So it seems like maybe Nike's got a sale going on. Maybe Rack Room's got buy one, get one 50. Kohl's might have a sale of some kind going on. I just want to get a really big picture of what the opportunities might be out there for me. Seems like Academy might have some sales. And obviously we also want to go ahead and connect this back to the original listing, right? So in this case, I see the title is like men's basketball shoes. That's what it's going to Google. If that happens, by the way, you can usually just press the Amazon button there. It's going to open the listing. And then once you get into the actual main listing, SellerAmp should have the correct title for you there. As long as the overall ASIN is correct, we'll have the right title. So the Dunk Retro Lows, we can go ahead and press Google. And then it'll start finding the correct product. If you're wondering why it didn't really find the right thing, that's why I was just looking for random shoes. But like I said, we're looking for some really good coupon codes for us to go ahead and start checking out. So let's see, when we land on Shop WSS, this is a really big way to boost your margins. Like I was talking about, basically nothing that you source is going to be profitable at the price that you just see it listed on the website for. So this right here is a great way. You're looking for what's called a catch-all email. You can plug in an infinite number of emails, and just as like a quick tutorial, you can do it through your own like Google domain, that kind of thing. You can also just do, let's say my email, let's say is Warner@gmail. If my email was Warner@gmail.com, then I can go in here and say +1, then I can say plus, spam some buttons in there. And every time I add something after the plus, that creates a new email that then redirects to whatever's before the plus. So hopefully that's pretty valuable for you guys trying to set that up. And basically on this website, we'd have 20% off as much as we'd want it. And we can just create a new email address every time. So really when we're looking at a lot of these items right here, what we're probably going to be seeing as our real cost is this $55 minus another 20%, right? So the best thing that I like about reverse sourcing is I just want to see what are my good opportunities, what are the sales that I should be looking at. And a lot of times the best items that a seller is carrying isn't even necessarily in their storefront because they already sold it super profitably, right? I just want to start with these merchant fulfilled specific sellers, see the types of items that they're selling, and then see if we can find some kind of coupons on that. Let's go ahead and check out this seller right here. I'm going to see this Court Vision low sneakers. Another thing we can do is right click and then search image with Google. And that helps us find the right Amazon listing sometimes. So we can see maybe there. See, this one has like a little bit of a black tongue on the back, and that one did not though. So we can see if there's a different Amazon listing here. Maybe not. Let's go ahead and check out the main listing that we just pulled up. So it seems like it might be right there. Maybe it's called like Midnight Navy, that kind of thing. When we check out the actual Shop WSS listing, it seems to check out as well. So let's just go ahead and check this out, right? So we'll go variations. And then as we're digging through these products, if we find a winner, we'll go ahead and break down if it's going to be a good product to merchant fulfill or not. So Navy, I'm going to go ahead and filter by ratings because that's roughly going to show me like the fastest sellers on the listing. So there's like a completely different version. And that one right there. So $88. Let's go ahead and check that one out. So that one's 88. That one's about $70. Another 80 right there. And so if we're buying these for $55, plus we get 20% off. So 55 times 0.80, since we're getting 20% off. So we want to do 55 times 0.80. We're getting that 80% off. You can do your math on the SellerAmp box there. So we're buying these for $44. So let's go ahead and see if any of these are profitable. So 44, selling these for 78 right now. It seems like right now they're a 30% ROI. Going into Q4 though, a lot of times I want to see how they performed last year. It's really hard to know. This hasn't really even had a listing for the full year. So a lot of times it's going to be a little bit trickier to pull the trigger if you don't have that past year of sales data like we don't have here. A couple things that I am noticing though is the seller count has increased a little bit. The sales price has reacted to it though, I would say. So that's kind of a good sign. So if we kind of zoom out on this listing, you're also going to see that the sales rank has been increasing pretty quickly, which makes sense on, a very holiday type product. It's a pair of shoes. So like when he's selling well. And so when we jump into this listing, right now selling for $78, we're making 30% ROI. And then as we mouse over this keeper chart here, we're going to do the same thing. How much blue do I have on here? And what price did they charge for it? So right here, this seller made a few sales at $75. It's blue up there. So we can see those are merchant fulfilled sales. It's been a little bit since somebody made merchant fulfilled sales though. Back here, I saw somebody make sales up at like $100. So that's a really good sign if during October, September, not even during like the peak of holidays, sales rush, all that kind of stuff, somebody was selling as a merchant fulfilled seller for $100. We basically just want that validation from the past that someone has made money on this listing. Just because this price is a little too low for me, I like to look for like 35 in shoes, especially after returns and all that kind of stuff. I probably wouldn't buy this product. There's a good shot that the price goes up with Christmas demand and all that kind of stuff. But for those of you guys who are watching, you're probably limited capital, want to only show you some true winners here, right? So this one could be a good example of a true winner though, right? So we've got the buy box was on this listing for $85.95. So 85, basically $86. If we're buying them for $44, this is our profit with FBA fees turned on. The nice part is that a lot of times FBA fees are very, very similar to FBM fees. If you want to know for sure, you can just go ahead and check out the profit calculator section on SellerAmp. We're just going to toggle FBM right there. And so that's going to turn off a lot of the major fees. See right there, the fulfillment fee goes away. And it's basically just that referral fee. We're not paying shipping, anything like that. And so what you want to do here is just have some rough ideas of what it's going to cost you to merchant fulfill items. On a pair of shoes like this, probably anywhere around like the $12 range is a pretty fair estimate. Sometimes it's going to be cheaper, sometimes it'll be a little bit more expensive. So on something like this, seems like a fairly decent buy. We've seen sellers making sales at that $86 price point, buying them for $44 after that code. So that's something that is not too bad at all. So based on the overall variation, since we're looking at the size 9.5s here, I want to just double check and see, yeah, we do have a couple recent ratings. So it's not going to be the fastest seller in the world by any means, but we do have a couple recent ratings, which does prove to me that this item does actually sell. And so I'd probably pull the trigger on anywhere from like 5 to 10 pairs of those. It's not a major home run by any means, but it's all just about hitting a bunch of base hits, right? That's kind of my philosophy on Amazon, is seeing how many base hits I can hit, seeing how many base hits I can have a team hit for me, and basically scale on that. So here's kind of a decent little base hit for you, right? So you buy 10 pairs of this, 17 bucks profit a piece. There's an extra, 150 bucks profit after it's all said and done. Prices move a little bit, that kind of stuff, right? So there's one decent lead. We could go ahead and dive through a lot of these other ones. Let's see, like 80 bucks. Let's see, FBA. So this one's a good example of something I might be a little bit more apprehensive to buy as an FBM seller. You can see recently as we're mousing along the keeper here, we can see pretty much all FBA. I'd also want to go ahead and check out the buy box stats here. So we can go ahead and do that. Let's filter by type. And then when we filter by type, we can see a couple of these sellers. So 3 weeks ago, somebody made sales on a merchant fulfilled seller, but beyond that, it's been mostly FBA. And so this one I might be a little bit more careful on, right? So we can zoom out. Again, we don't have that past Christmas data. I love to see when we have a past Christmas data that we can kind of go off of and know that, oh, last Christmas there was a big seller increase. And because of that seller decrease, we might see the prices shooting up, lots of merchant fulfillment rotation. But let's go ahead and keep moving on here. I also just wanted to mention, if you guys haven't already hopped in the Amazon Launchpad, I just updated it recently. We put 3 hours of content in there, a bunch of downloadable guides, some auto ungating, checklists for sourcing leads, plus you'll get a Discord community for free. There's over 50,000 sellers in there, tons of free value. You can check this out down below. My goal is to make one of the best free resources all on the internet covering Amazon arbitrage. So go ahead and check that out. If you're still trying to get your Amazon business started, let's get back into it. I want to go ahead and check out some of these other sales that we potentially have going on. So that WSS sale could be a pretty good thing to take advantage of, stacking that catch-all on top of some of these discounts here. As I'm checking this out, I also noticed that there might be a Nike Black Friday sale of some kind. And especially as we're sourcing merchant fulfillment specific products, I would like to avoid shoes. I like to do shoes mostly FBA. You can do shoes merchant fulfillment. I know tons of people making tons of money merchant fulfilling shoes, but I might check out something a little bit lighter. So let's go ahead and head to like tops and t-shirts, something like that. And now we're looking at very light items. So these are going to cost you, $5, $6, $7 to ship out a t-shirt, way cheaper. And it's just going to be easier for you in the thick of things when you got 100, 200, hopefully you got hundreds of orders going out, merchant fulfillment. You're going to be working hard for the money, but you don't want to be, throwing tons of shoe boxes and all that kind of stuff. You want to make it as simple as possible, and smaller products does make that easier. So let's go ahead and check some of these out. I actually think this might have been that starting product that we had. So let's see. So looks like it was completely sold out, $16.97. Yeah, this was super profitable. If we were buying these for 17 bucks, we're getting 25% off. So these are like 13 bucks a pop. This is a perfect merchant filled product. Like I was showing you earlier, we started from this because there's lots of merchant filled rotation. You can see lots of blue up there. So this would be something good to just kind of keep your eyes on, right? See if this comes back into stock, that kind of thing. I might bookmark this lead, add it to a Google Sheet. That's another thing you can do. So on this shirt right here, we can go ahead and press like our Christmas button or something like that. And that's going to send it over to a custom Google Sheet. In this case, we can open it up here. Christmas, you can see we found it for like $12.75, but it was just out of stock. So maybe realistically, you make a list that says, out of stock or something like that, right? And you can just go ahead and press that button, send it over there, and you never have to forget about potential good products that you found. So let's go ahead and keep moving on here though. I think the rest of that listing was pretty sold out. Let's check out this shirt right here. Let's go ahead and check out some of these. Let's see. So like a pullover, hoodie, check out this shirt. And on this section, I want to show you kind of a different way to source. And this is how I tend to do a lot more of my personal sourcing. Reverse sourcing is great. Reverse sourcing is much more so when you are in your first, let's say 3 to 6 months of your Amazon journey. You want to be heavily favoring reverse sourcing. You need to be learning like what types of shoes are selling well, what colors within each brand, what are people finding success, what is the fast selling products within each brand. And then the more you kind of understand the brand, the more you should just kind of jump straight into these sales here. And I like to use this trick. So I will highlight over a text and then I'll basically just click the SellerAmp extension, and that's going to grab anything that I highlighted. It also just kind of grabs whatever the default title is. Sometimes it's correct, sometimes it's not. So you can play around with that. And this is just going to help me find any potential Amazon listings for this, right? So in this case, it seems like there might be just a ton of kind of t-shirt listings in general. So we may just pop this open here. And let's see if we can find that main listing as well. So let's just do like Nike t-shirt and then see what comes up. So Sportswear Club comes up, and really, like I'm saying, we're just going down rabbit holes as much as possible, right? So I'm looking for that one with the big check on the center. You'd think you'd be able to find it pretty easily, but I also want to check out some of these other shirts that are the top results. This is what they're going to be the top results for people shopping on Black Friday, shopping for the holidays, that kind of stuff. So you want to be the ones in stock on the things that are already ranking at the top for something as basic as, a Nike t-shirt, right? So I'm having a hard time finding this main listing here. The last kind of trick I'll show you, if you can't find it, is you can right click and then search image with Google, and then we might be able to find an Amazon listing here. So it could be that guy right there. Let's see. So seems like this is probably the main listing. It's like a 6 million rank. Here's a million rank, so it's a little bit too high. So let's just go ahead and close these out. But I am curious to see if there's anything profitable on these other listings here. So I'm going to start with just something like this. 9K BSR, super fast selling product, over 1,000 times a month according to SellerAmp here. So let's go ahead and jump into the variations and see what we can find. And as we're doing that, again, we're obviously going to make sure that there's plenty of rotation going to merchant fulfilled sellers. So what I like to do is just filter by current highest price, and then I'll go over here to ratings and just make sure there's a little bit of action going on. So like this pink shirt right here, there's a little bit of ratings going on. It's like a $60 shirt. So I definitely want to see if we can maybe find that. So let's search t-shirt. Let's see, maybe we can grab the title from this one, could be good. So let's see, sportswear t-shirt, punch that in. Especially if these are 25% off, we could really be in the money here. So it looks like we might be 25% off on those guys there. What kind of colors do we have? So we've got like this tealish on sale. It seems like pretty much all the colors are 25% off too. So some of them are going to be really, really cheap. Like this will be 17, 18 bucks, something like that, doing some rough math there. And then a lot of the other ones will be cheaper as well. So let's see, do we have the pink over in stock on this main listing? So it seems like a little bit of a purple. Maybe I'm colorblind and you guys are at home yelling that there's a profitable product right in front of me, but that looks a little bit more purple to me. Let's see some of these other ones that have ratings and also are expensive. So earth would be 60 bucks. Let's see if they've got the earth color here. Don't seem to see that darker brown. Let's see obsidian. Sweet. So obsidian right there. You could also find this kind of like lighter blue. See that right there. Is that our lighter blue? Let's see Futura. I think it's a little bit different. What I really want to do here is just go ahead and do a quick scan. So here's that. Actually, I think this might be that teal color that we had pretty cheap over here. So this teal, yeah. So this could be something worth checking out. So not a ton of ratings action, but there is one on this one. So let's check this out. So this XL's right here, 47 bucks. And then we'll also see if this could be a good merchant fill. So yeah, 49 bucks, pretty decent history. Last year was 35, been in the $50 range for quite a while, sold faster during like back to school season, that kind of thing. And as I'm mousing over this item here, I see a lot of blue up at the top where people had no problems making sales. Here's another seller with what's that, 11 feedback. They hopped in on this listing and probably sold out if I had to guess. As soon as they disappeared, basically the seller count went off. So they probably sold out. It's basically what that tells me right there, where it drops from 7 sellers to 6 sellers. And this guy's offer kind of went up. So he was making sales at 45 bucks on this listing. See if we have the XLs in stock. We do have the XLs. We're buying for 23 bucks, 25% off. So we're getting these for 17.25. If we want to go ahead and just double check our fees down here for just like a lighter product like this, like it's probably under a pound. Yeah, it's only 6 ounces. So something like this is probably only going to run you $5 for shipping. It's really not too bad. You'll buy your shipping through Amazon Seller Central if you've never done a merchant filled item before. But something like this, even with those merchant filled fees on there, probably making almost a double up on your money here, which is pretty cool to see. So yeah, there might be some other opportunity in these other shirts here. So 47 bucks. Let's see, like this dark gray. Do they have the dark gray in stock over on that Nike listing? Let's see. It's a lot of like weirder colors. So is that the same gray? That looks pretty similar gray to me. A lot of times you might even find like the same model in some of these pictures, which is funny. But yeah, that seems like the same gray to me. So 30 bucks this time. We're not buying it on that nice sale, unfortunately. So 30.75. So we are buying these for 22 bucks. Let's see. There was a recent history of them selling merchant fulfilled for 38 bucks, as you can see there. Merchant fulfilled for 50 bucks. Merchant fulfilled for 45 bucks right there. And as we go more and more into, the depths of Q4, you're only going to be seeing more sales as a merchant fulfilled seller. So like our worst case scenario, selling for like 38 bucks here. Let's see. So if we sell this for 38 bucks, if we're paying $5 for shipping, you're still making like $4 in profit. It's really not a great ROI, especially in clothing. If you are able to capture some of these like $50 sales though, it's well worth it. In my mind, it seems like the worst thing that ever happens to you here is you make $4. The best thing that happens to you here is you end up making 14. So it's just like a nice little like risk reward analysis kind of thing. I would probably hop on something like this. We do need to make sure, yeah, 3XL, got the 3XL right there. But yeah, so they are in stock as well, which is super nice to see. So that's probably another profitable item right there. So these would be pretty good to go ahead and check out as well. Just from this point, as soon as I start finding more and more profitable products, I would go ahead and start looking through those specific storefronts. So especially this seller right here, they've been crushing it merchant fulfilled on this listing that you can buy profitably right now. So there's a good shot that now that we've already identified a good sale to look at, this 25% sale, we already found some good profitable items. You can just specifically search through their Nike catalog, compare that back to the 25% sale that you know is going on right now. You know that they're merchant fulfilling these products in time for Q4. And so it's going to be a massively way better focused way to kind of source through these sales, right? On the flip side, what I was kind of showing you as well is as you're looking through a lot of these other products, just using this SAS search here, once you know you've identified a good sale, looking through kind of the more boring products, the types of stuff that you see in storefronts, like let's see, like this right here could be good as well. Let's check it out, like 58 bucks. And this kind of like manual sourcing method is what you should be doing if you're on the, intermediate to veteran side. If you're a brand new seller, I would pretty much only be reverse sourcing. So let's see, 58 bucks, we're getting 25% off. So we're paying 43 bucks for these. This very second, a merchant fulfilled seller is selling these for $80. So they're in the money on these, but it seems like it has a history of like $65. So I don't love this one as much, like 65, even down as like 55 or you're losing money. So let's see, definitely lower volume as well than some of these other products we've been looking at. So let's see, like the black XL or the black 3X has no ratings as well. Prices up like 100 randomly, used to be like 88, see 88. So we wouldn't mind 88. Let's check these out. 2XLs here. These are selling decently well. 75 I don't think is profitable enough for us though. Yeah, these are probably not going to be profitable enough. 78 or 68 at that point. Yeah, so we're getting down into the lower prices. So seems like this guy might have made a couple sales at like $90. You can see when we click on the Keepa chart right here, you can see their stock over time. As long as they're not hiding their stock, that kind of thing. This isn't always the perfect data either. It just sometimes can give you an idea of, you know, this day they had 3 in stock. They were sold them all for $90 and then they were out of stock. So there is actually a little bit of, you know, a proof here that people do want to buy these for $90. I would probably more be thinking about this as an FBA purchase rather than FBM. I only like to do FBM on things that are very proven, very kind of time tested to be selling FBM. So like this right here, there's a pretty good history of some FBM, right? Especially recently. And as we get more and more into Q4, you're going to see more and more products where Amazon is giving up the buy box away from FBA sellers to FBM sellers, as they want their warehouses to be way less cluttered and that kind of stuff. So if you're that seller going in and you're the ones FBMing listings, you're making money faster. You're selling the products that Amazon is just having a trouble keeping up in demand on, which is a really good sign that if Amazon's having trouble keeping up on the demand, that it's a pretty good fast selling item. Price is probably going to go up, all that kind of stuff, right? So $75 for buying these for like 43. Again, these are all like close, but you can see like right away we're finding a couple potential winners there, some definite winners as far as merchant fulfillment. We found some shoes, a couple shirts. We're really just touching kind of the tip of the iceberg here. We didn't even look at, you can see like there was a sale over here that we didn't check out. There's a buy one get one, some kind of Kohl's sale going on, lots of sales over on Academy. So like right now, if you're watching this video right as I'm releasing it, this is the time of year for you to be taking this business seriously, making some serious money. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and got a ton of value. If you did, please feel free again to hit that subscribe button. Also, go ahead and make sure if you don't have SellerAmp like we're using in this video, make sure you go ahead and activate your free trial today so you can get rolling with using our product research tool. If you guys do have any questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to drop those down below as well. Always super happy to answer those for you guys. But I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time.